Hey everybody, it's Chrissy from Chrissy's Beautiful Life. Welcome back to For the Love of Homemade Kits. I am a little bit late in posting this. This was supposed to go up last Monday and it just did not happen. So my goal here today is to take this piece of paper. Now this was supposed to be from last week's, but it didn't actually end up being my final background choice. I ended up switching it out if you can remember. And so I had this left over and I loved it. And it really kind of fit with the theme of having a mixed media that was left in your stash. And even though it's not my stash because I just did it last week, it would just go back into my stash if I didn't use it. So I'm going to go ahead and use it. Grab all of the stars from that sticker sheet from the Dear Lizzie. And I am going to go all star themed on this. I'm going to take this star. If you remember, I tried to back my photo with this as well, and it does not work. Now, I'm not going to use this exact star, just the shape of it. And I'm going to just simply take it and use a pencil and trace it, go off camera and stitch that trace line with black, doing kind of not really any mathematical sense to it, but just every once in a while I switched it to back and forth stitch that I can't think of right now, zigzag stitch versus a straight stitch in the black, just so it had a bit of fun and play to it, because this is going to be a pretty, I assumed would be a pretty whimsical type of layout. So now I'm going to take the star pattern paper. Now this is the black and white pattern paper I chose for this month, which was part of the kit. And I'm just going to take the star, match it up to where it needs to go. And I'm going to fussy cut that out as well so that that star can go in right in the middle. So what I do is I simply tape just a little bit down so it doesn't go anywhere while I'm cutting it. You could trace it and cut it if you so choose. I'm not going to do that. I'm simply going to cut it and then oh, I do trace it. Oh, I lied. Look at me lying. So I traced it. You could just cut it without doing this. But what I want to do is cut in a little bit so when it lies down, you can still see the stitching that I created. Now I'm loving this. Grabbed this photo of Jackson's kind of his supplies from his first day of school. So he picked out a Spider-Man backpack. He picked out a really bright green water bottle for himself, and he got Star Wars high tops for his first day of school and his shoes. They didn't last very long. He wore through them super quick, but he loved them. So that is what this photo is about, is his kind of first moments and first choices that he got to make about when he went to school and what he wanted to do. So it was really fun to document this, and I hope that I remember to do this every year so that it has a bit of his personality shown back on his first days of school and what changes as he gets older. So yes, I'm going to go ahead and use that. You can see I added some stars. I wanted to get a little bit more of that sparkle with the love there. I needed it to be in a couple other places. I do decide to do a tiny bit of backing and a little bit of like bordering my photo. It's not a ton, it's just a little bit. I start with this red, but I don't have red in this layout other than in that one streak of the star, so I don't really go with that idea. Instead, I do a bit of tissue paper and then this green instead, which fits in a lot better. So really loving that, and it's just playing around and kind of just having fun with it and seeing what's going to work and what doesn't. I created this layout over the course of a couple days. It's like I said, I'm still just finishing up right in the middle of my crazy double birthdays with my boys and just lots of stuff. I've added an extra day to work and there's just a lot going on. So I haven't been able to be in my scrap room as much as I would like, but that's okay because things are changing and hopefully, you know, mid to early spring there will be some changes, so we shall see how it all goes and plays out, and I'll let you know as I have a little bit more detail to share. Now, to add a few little things, I am going into my stash to just find a couple little pieces. It was a little too plain for me. I want this layout to be really fun and playful and just work with what I have. So I did go through a few of my little containers there. I went through my black one and my multicolor one, my star one, and I believe I went through my green one if I remember correctly. So I don't pull a lot out, just a few pieces here and there to kind of just finish it all off. And then I follow everything off by going ahead and, oh, hold on, Barrett's up. Okay, let's see if I can finish this with Mr. Barrett in my hands here. So I am going to wrap everything up with this layout by using a title with 3 of, I'm not sure that they're all they're not. I used one of the words and fonts from my kit, and then the other 2 I just took out from my stash so that it's got the right color tones and everything kind of matches in together. And my title is just simply a little big details or things, little big things, I believe, because this is something that it's not the biggest deal. I mean, it really isn't, but to me, it's the little detail about his very first day, and he started kindergarten this year, so of course that was a big deal, and I've talked about that before, but I definitely wanted to have the title fit kind of my feelings towards why I did the photo. And so I'm going to put the journaling underneath where I put the word love. My journaling will go there so I can kind of talk a little bit more about that, and it just is going to wrap it all up. And I just think it's adorable. It was fun to create, and I feel like I did a pretty good job using most of the supplies from my kit and just adding a few touches outside of it. Now, I don't really care if my layouts are full-on kit or not. It's not a big deal to me because these are stash kits to begin with. But it is nice to try to use what you have up, because that's why you pick them, right? To fit the theme of the recipe that was given by Christina and Hannah. So it's just nice to have it all together. So let me finish that off before you see my finished layout. The playlist will be below, so you can check out everyone else if you haven't seen them already. Everyone's layouts for this week were super beautiful and awesome, and you've got to go check them out. And I hope to be back next week before the end of February to share my last layout. And then we're on to a new kit as well. So much is happening. I'm also doing my program that I do for my video program has switched up on me, and I didn't know that. So there is some extra details coming on, and you're also seeing the first little hints of what next week is going to be about because I accidentally included it, and I'm just going to leave it in here so you have a little preview of what things are going to look like next week, and then my finished layout will pop up. So a little bit of a random voiceover here. Thanks everyone. I also will have, next week will also be the start of a new letter for my ABC Scrappy Challenge, and I'm going to try to play a little bit of catch up because I owe a couple people a couple layouts, like my this lift and sketch, and then I also wanted to join Moira and Crystal in the Christy's Beautiful Life Revisited series that they have been doing about following up with the sketches I picked for my 30 Days of Sketches series, and I would like to join in on them, and I promised I would do a couple of them, and I haven't been able to get any of them, so I am going to go ahead and work on that too. So that is a little preview of what next week is going to look like. So stay tuned so you can see that next week when it comes up. And thank you everyone so much for watching. This is a completely new voiceover system for me, and it's completely thrown me for a loop. So if you're wondering why my voiceover was a little weird today, that is why. I'm not used to it doing this. So sorry about that. There's a look at my actual finished layout for this week, and I'll see you all really soon. Bye.